Imagine standing in a quiet, green park just outside the busy streets of modern St. Louis. Rising from the flat ground is a mountain made entirely of dirt. It is flat on top, like a giant green table reaching for the clouds. This is Monk's Mound. It is a towering pyramid, but it is not made of heavy stone blocks. It is made of simple earth, packed tightly together by human hands long ago. Today, the wind blows softly through the tall grass, making a gentle, whispering sound. But beneath your feet lies a massive, forgotten pre-Columbian megacity. Let us travel back in time, over 1,000 years ago. The quiet park transforms into a bustling, noisy metropolis filled with bright colors and loud voices. This is Cahokia. It was a buzzing hive of human life right in the heart of North America. A mighty civilization was growing fast, spreading its power across the land. At this time, the city was larger than medieval London. While kings and queens built damp castles in Europe, the people here were building something just as grand under the bright sun. Tens of thousands of Native Americans lived here together. Their neat homes stretched out as far as the eye could see, filling the wide river valley. Smoke from thousands of cooking fires filled the morning sky with a sweet, woody smell. Children played in the wide dirt streets, while dogs barked and ran between the houses. The people here were building a dream out of mud and clay. They did not use metal tools or heavy iron machines to shape their world. They scooped up thick, heavy dirt with simple tools made of sharp stone and hard river shell. They worked together in long lines, singing songs to keep their rhythm. They carried this heavy dirt in beautifully woven baskets on their backs. Step by step, basket by basket, they walked up steep hills to build massive mountains. Every single handful of dirt was moved by pure human strength. They had no large animals like horses or oxen to pull heavy wagons for them. Through years of hard work, they built over 120 giant earth mounds. Some were shaped like tall cones pointing straight up to the sky. Others had flat, wide tops. Important leaders lived in grand, wooden houses perched high upon these flat pyramids, looking down at the busy city below. Near the giant dirt pyramids, they built something else truly amazing. They tracked the bright stars and the warm sun with incredible skill. They placed huge, heavy wooden poles in a perfect circle in the dark dirt. Scientists call this giant circle Woodhenge, and it was a masterpiece of ancient thinking. It worked just like a giant wooden calendar. When the sun rose on special days of the year, its bright light lined up perfectly with a specific wooden pole. This clever tool told the busy farmers exactly when to plant their tiny seeds in the ground. It helped them track the changing seasons, from the cold winter to the warm spring. Cahokia was not just a quiet farming town. It was a powerful, loud center of trade where different worlds met. People traveled from very far away, walking for many weeks, just to swap special goods in the grand plazas. They brought treasures from all over the land. They brought shiny red copper from the cold, rocky lands far to the north. They brought beautiful white seashells from the warm, salty oceans far to the south. They traded sharp black rocks to make the best arrows for hunting. They traded beautiful pottery painted with red and black swirls. The city was rich, loud, and full of exciting life. But then, the happy laughter slowly stopped. The bustling, crowded markets went completely silent, like a candle blown out by the wind. Completely mysteriously, the city was abandoned. The massive cooking fires burned out for the last time, leaving only cold, gray ashes behind. This happened long before any European explorers ever arrived on the continent. The people packed up their families and vanished into the wild forests. They left behind their giant dirt pyramids and scattered clues in the mud. The empty wooden homes slowly fell apart in the strong wind and heavy rain. For hundreds of years, wild green grass grew over the grand, flat plazas. The mighty Mississippi River flowed quietly nearby, keeping the city's dark secrets. What happened to all those busy people? Why did they run away from their magnificent homes? Scientists and explorers have dug deep into the dirt to find answers. They looked closely at old, burned seeds, tiny bits of rotten wood, and deep layers of sticky mud. They acted like detectives solving a very old crime. They found a thrilling and scary story hidden deep in the ground. It is a story of a great city that grew much too fast for its own good. To build their thousands of houses and their giant wooden calendar, the people needed wood. They needed thick logs to hold up their roofs and build strong fences. They needed a massive amount of wood every single day. So, they chopped down the thick, green forests surrounding the city with their stone axes. Without the tall trees, the land changed very quickly. Tree roots act like millions of tiny fingers that grab the soft dirt and hold it safely in place. When the trees were cut down, the dirt became loose, dry, and weak. The protective, leafy shield of the forest was completely gone. Then came the heavy, dark rain. The weather began to change drastically across the entire land, bringing angry storms. Dark storm clouds rolled in more often, blocking out the warm sun. The mighty river, which usually gave them fresh water and silver fish, turned wild and dangerous. Intense flooding washed over the neat green farms. The dark, rising water swallowed the important crops of corn and beans. The loose dirt from the cut-down forests washed away into the muddy, churning river. The rich soil they needed to grow food was gone forever. The environmental shifts caused sudden and terrible problems for everyone in the city. The carefully planted crops died under the deep, cold water. The weather grew much colder and much less predictable. The giant wooden calendar could not fix the angry gray sky or stop the endless rain. It became impossible to grow enough food to feed tens of thousands of hungry mouths. The storage baskets that were once full of corn became empty and dusty. A booming megacity cannot survive without extra food. Hunger spread quickly and quietly through the neat rows of wooden houses. The wise leaders perched on their flat pyramids could not stop the heavy rain. Fear quickly replaced the happy singing sounds of the busy market. So, the tired and hungry people had to make a very hard choice. They could not fight the angry river or the changing sky anymore. They had to leave their grand, beautiful city to save their families. They packed whatever small things they could carry on their tired backs. They walked away from the giant earth pyramids they had built with their own hands. They looked back one last time at the towering monk's mound, now silent and wet. They scattered into much smaller groups, walking in different directions. They moved to new, strange lands where they hoped to find fresh food and safety. The sudden collapse of Cahokia is a powerful, muddy puzzle. It is a loud warning hidden deep in the quiet dirt of Illinois. It shows us how quickly a booming megacity can fail when its environment changes. Even the greatest cities can fall if the land around them gets sick. The people of Cahokia were brilliant, hard-working builders. They were clever astronomers who watched the bright stars and understood the sun. They were strong workers who built towering mountains out of simple, brown dirt. They created a wonder of the ancient world without wheels or metal. But even the smartest and strongest people need a healthy, balanced earth to survive. When the trees fell and the floods came, their powerful magic was not enough. Today, the giant earth mounds stand silent and still in the green park. They wait for us to listen closely to their ancient, muddy secrets.